money, we need the new this, we need the new that. When in reality, what's really happening in Web3 is we're just surfing the waves of the transition into a even more immersively digital world. That's the only thing that's happening. So now we're struggling with, okay, do we use fiat or do we use these crypto coins and tokens and NFTs because we bought them already and they're going up in value if these win? And we don't like the fact that the government has access to all this money and the banks have access to money, and Chase Bank can just close your account if you make a tweet they don't like or a video you don't like. And it's that a little bit, it's that in between. So whatever that in between is going to be, I don't know if it's, I don't know if it'll be Apple and Facebook running the metaverse in 20 to 30 years. I really hope it's not, because that means we basically just dropped Web 2 into the Web 3 world and then nothing really happened. That's why I'm just trying to take advantage of the opportunities. I'm trying to grow in the space as a Web 3 person and set myself up in a way that's somewhat safe for me and stable for me. But a lot of the systems are in place because they work. And it's like, I had my eyes open when I read this book called .com Secrets, that all the best funnels and sales tactics are the same fucking tactics that have been running on infomercials for the past 50 years. And I'm like, they fucking work. That's why they're still being used. They literally all still work. And there's no difference. There's no reason to make a new wheel when the other one is literally not only good, it's great and it works. And it's like, fuck, it's a well-oiled machine. And we're trying to like stick a like a wrench in it for some reason, because there's an opportunity for us, like a little thing. So I don't know. It's hard to kind of put that into words, but
no, I completely get it. I really do. And I think you expressed it very well. And it's exactly right. There is going to be a middle ground where it meets, because you can't have mass adoption and still keep it completely unregulated and decentralized. And this applies for crypto more than NFTs. NFTs is a tiny substract. On the crypto side of things, there's got to be a middle ground. And we even seeing that with Ethereum at the moment, because, a lot of the mining now with proof of stake is happening through centralized places. So it's not decentralized anymore fully like it used to be, right? And all you need is, like today, all right? I'm sitting there at work and I get and I'm busy, and I get a SMS or a message, whatever you call it, on your phone, saying like 200 Rand, which is like $15 or $10, spent at wish.com. Right now, I've heard of Wish.com, but so maybe Bianca's buying a little something fine. Then a few minutes later, I get another SMS, 600 Rand, Wish.com. So I'm thinking, okay, so I just message Bianca and I say, just confirming, did you do 2 transactions on Wish.com? And she writes back, no. So I look at it more carefully. It's actually $200. I wasn't even looking properly. I just saw 200. So it's 200 USD, and the second one 620 USD. So straight away I realized somehow Bianca's card has been compromised, and I phoned the bank. They say to me, no problem, Mr. Klinko. We've blocked it. We're sending you a new card, and we'll refund your money within 48 hours.
Nice.
Now that is the benefit to having a regulated, centralized banking system. Whereas when your NFT gets stolen, and not if, when, who do you phone? Where do you go? You can't even go into the Discord of the community. No one's there to help you. OpenSea doesn't care. No one cares. So you've, and that's a big thing that turns people off. It just takes one bad experience in the space for a newbie to come in the space, be completely scammed out of $2,000 that he's been saving for so long to buy this NFT. He'll never come back. Whereas if there was some sort of regulation or body looking over it, even if it was a DAO or a sort of decentralized, you would be able to somehow safeguard those people to some degree and therefore allow for mass adoption. So these things are stopping mass adoption. So in the end of the day, there has to be a middle ground, exactly like you were saying, where the two come together, where it's still to some degree decentralized, but to some way centralized as well and regulated, while still being unregulated to some degree.
Right. That's
really how we.
For me, I see like for example, American Express Bank, whatever. I just got the gold card, no problem. Just got the gold medal card, no big deal. Anyway, so I'd rather roll with American Express and have them see the benefits, see the community, see the ethos, whatever, of Web3, of the communal aspect of everything, and say, okay, this is what people want. This is what our clients want. we need to start incorporating some of the things that they feel is important from Web3 into our company, rather than,
Exactly.
fucking moonbird butt skank skeleton zombies NFT bank comes up and says we're gonna do it, and I'm like, I don't think so. I think this company's probably gonna do it, and they're just gonna start incorporating some of the things we want them to do and become more humanized. And that's why we're seeing massive companies right now all have kids running their TikTok accounts, and like they have a whole team of advisors for social media, because they've started to slowly say, oh, social media is how we grow. We're a media company, actually, and all the companies start to do that. Banks start to do that. The most boring companies in the world have social media now. The next step is clearly the Web3 stuff is going to start incorporating into their social medias. And people say, oh, Chase Bank is doing a live stream tomorrow morning with X content creator that they partnered up with, and they're doing a giveaway, and they're doing this and that. You have to be a member of this bank, and you have to have this, and maybe their NFT. And they can start doing those things, hold events. That's where I see the metaverse really all coming together in a cohesive little something, you know?
Exactly. And that's what we're seeing to some degree in the Reddit story. And that's what we're seeing to some degree to a big degree in the Starbucks, right? And we're seeing normal Web2 companies seeing the in real life value of blockchain technology without the rubbish of just a picture being worth something. They like the technology and they're integrating it, and they're offering real value and benefit to their customers, as well as getting savings on their side from a data collection perspective and a tracking perspective.
Yeah.
It's a win-win. And that's really where the future of the space is going, I reckon.
Yeah, that's a fact, dude. That's a fact. I'm actually really stoked that I said it like that on the stream, so I can probably clip it for later. I don't know. It makes so much sense, dude. Like, it makes so much sense. 10 years ago, no company was on social media, and now they all are on social media. And now it's the exact same thing with the Web3 space. A few companies have adopted it, and they will all follow, and they will all start to adopt the Web3 policies, and all start to adopt the Web3 things that all their clients and all the people in their communities and following their social medias are wanting. They're going to want those things, and they're going to start to give it to them, and then everyone else is going to jump back in like they already did.
But it's like you said with that book. It's the same pattern, the same thing with the internet. Yeah. I remember when I started Perkel 20 years ago, we were one of the first companies to have a website. No one else. So we would phone a big brand like a Carol Boyers in South Africa, is a massive beautiful pewter stuff. And we said to them, look, we've got a website, we'd like to sell your stuff. They said, absolutely not. Unless you have a brick and mortar store, we're not selling to you. We will not supply you.
Wow.
Because why? Their brick and mortar stores were paying them licensing fees and have the expenses of rent and lights and water. And how can this kid come with a website without any rent and insurance and whatever that you would need if you had a brick and mortar store and be able to undercut our bread and butter? Whereas 10 years ago, they phoned us and they said, Philip, we're ready to move forward now. It was like, well, welcome to the party, right?
Prices have been jacked up.
That's one of many, many stories of the same thing. You know, we had a supplier that we said, look, we want to take, and they wanted us to have their products. We wanted their products. They didn't have any pictures because they had no website. There was no pictures. And when we asked them for pictures, they took pictures on a shelf, and we said, we can't use it. We need proper pictures. They said, well, we don't work like that. We supply all the stores. The physical stores don't need pictures. I said, guys, if you don't get a website, if you don't get pictures, you're not going to be around in 20 years. And true as God, this company is not around today.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It was the internet. It was the telephone. People say, why do you need a mobile phone? What is the point? It took 15 years from when it was introduced before anyone started using it. They said the same thing about horses and cars, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know, they said that cars were offensive to horses. And people were not happy. They don't want a car. And that's why Ford called it horsepower. And they try to say, look, we're not replacing your horse, because they marketed it wrong. They said this is better than your horse.
Right.
And people who love their horses were like, screw you. Frank is an amazing horse. You know, don't say that this piece of metal is better than my animal. And when they changed it and said, look, you know, it can work together and this and that, it all of a sudden started to get a bit of appeal. So it's the same thing.
You
It's
basically
the
just have to
same
like remain youthful and optimistic and open-minded to stuff. Otherwise, all of these things are just going to continually pass you, and you're going to make the exact same mistake you made 5 years ago, the same mistake 5 years after. 5 years after, you're always late to the show. You never get anything. You never get any of the benefits all these people always tell you about because you're always fucking last. And like that's just the name of the game. You have to move quick. Like that's why